I stood outside the bridal preparation room at 11 in the morning, 4 hours before I was supposed to marry the woman I loved. My hand gripped a small velvet box containing my grandmother's silver bracelet, a surprise gift for Sarah. I could hear her laughing inside, but there was another voice, a man's voice, not her father, not her brother. My heart hammered as I pushed the door open. What I saw, in those next 3 seconds, destroyed everything I had spent 2 years building. Before I take you through what happened next, I need to know something. Where are you watching this from? Drop your location in the comments below. And if you have ever had your trust shattered right before a major life event, hit that like button right now. You are going to want to subscribe too, because what I did next, nobody saw coming. Trust me, you will want to hear how this ends. Now let me tell you exactly what I walked into that morning. The door swung open, and time seemed to stop. Sarah stood there in her bridal undergarments, the expensive white lace she had spent months choosing. Marcus was next to her, his shirt unbuttoned halfway down his chest. Marcus, the guy who was supposed to marry Jessica, Sarah's best friend, next week. His tie was draped across the velvet sofa. 2 champagne glasses lay tipped over on the coffee table, liquid pooling on the wood. Their faces told me everything: the shock, the guilt, the panic. The velvet box slipped from my fingers and hit the marble floor with a sharp crack. Nobody moved. Sarah's hand flew to her mouth. Marcus stepped back, fumbling with his shirt buttons, like that would somehow undo what I had just witnessed. I stood there, my brain refusing to process what my eyes were showing me. This was supposed to be the happiest day of my life. I had been awake since 5 in the morning, too excited to sleep. I had rehearsed my vows in the shower. I had called my mom giddy like a kid on Christmas morning. Sarah recovered first. She always did. She was good at talking her way out of things. It was one of the things I used to admire about her. Not anymore. Liam, this is not what it looks like. Just calm down, okay? Just breathe. I did not move, did not blink. My voice came out flat, emotionless, like it belonged to someone else. How long? She hesitated. Marcus shifted his weight, looking everywhere except at me. The silence stretched. Sarah opened her mouth, closed it, then tried again. It just happened. Today. Just now. It does not mean anything, Liam. I swear to you, it does not mean anything. I felt something cold settle in my chest. Today, on our wedding day, Marcus could not take the pressure. He cracked like cheap glass. Man, I am sorry. It has been going on for 3 months. Sarah whipped around trying to silence him, but it was too late. The truth was out bleeding all over the white carpet. I watched her face cycle through emotions. Anger at Marcus for talking, fear of losing control of the narrative, desperation to fix this. Tell me the truth, Sarah. All of it. She broke. Her shoulders sagged and tears started streaming down her face, but I felt nothing. No sympathy. No urge to comfort her. Just a strange, distant curiosity, like I was watching a movie about someone else's life. It started at Marcus's bachelor party. 3 months ago. You were there. Remember, I came with Jessica, but I left early. I told you I had a headache. I remembered. She had texted me at 10 p.m., saying she was going home to rest. I had stayed until midnight, celebrating with Marcus and the guys. I had even felt guilty for staying out, worried about her being sick at home alone. Turns out she was not alone at all. She had stayed behind with Marcus after Jessica left. That whole night had been a lie. Does Jessica know? Sarah's tears came harder. No, she does not need to know. Liam, please. It was just physical. Marcus loves her. I love you. This does not have to change anything. We can still do this. We can still get married today. Nobody else has to know. Just physical. Those words echoed in my head. Like that made it better. Like reducing betrayal to biology somehow made it forgivable. I bent down and picked up the velvet box from the floor. The hinge was cracked, but the bracelet inside was intact. I looked at it for a long moment, remembering my grandmother slipping it off her wrist 2 years ago, pressing it into my palm, telling me to give it to the right woman when I found her. I had thought Sarah was that woman. Get dressed. We need to talk to our families. Relief washed over Sarah's face. She thought I was going to go through with it. She thought I was going to sweep this under the rug, pretend it never happened, marry her anyway. Marcus took that as his cue to leave, grabbing his tie and slipping out the door without another word. Coward. I walked out into the hallway. The venue was buzzing with activity. Florists, arranging centerpieces. Caterers, setting up the reception hall. The string quartet doing a sound check. Everyone preparing for a wedding that was never going to happen. My mind raced, but one thought crystallized above all the noise. If I am going down, I am not going down alone. I did not go talk to the families. Not yet. Instead, I walked out to my car, got in, and drove to the coffee shop 2 blocks away. I needed space to think. My hands were shaking as I gripped the steering wheel. Not from sadness. From rage. From humiliation. From the realization that I had been played for a fool. I sat in the parking lot and opened my phone. Sarah and I shared an iPad for wedding planning. Shared calendars, shared notes, shared everything. Which meant we also shared an iCloud account. Which meant her messages synced automatically to my devices. I had never looked before. Never had a reason to. Trust right, that thing I thought we had. I opened the Messages app and searched for Marcus's name. The conversation thread loaded. My stomach turned as I scrolled. This was not 3 months. This was 8 months. Almost since the day Marcus proposed to Jessica. The messages were detailed, graphic. But worse than the physical descriptions were the cold, calculated conversations about their futures. Sarah had written, "Marcus is more exciting, but Liam is stable. I need stable for the future. Kids. Mortgage. The whole package. But I do not want to give you up," Marcus replied. Same with Jessica. She is perfect on paper. My parents love her, but she does not make me feel alive like you do. We can make this work. After the weddings, we will have more freedom. Spouses who trust us completely. I read that line 3 times. Spouses who trust us completely. They were not even pretending to feel guilty. They were planning, strategizing, using Jessica and me as cover for their affair. We were not partners to them. We were props. Safety nets. The stable, boring options they could fall back on while they got their thrills on the side. I wanted to throw the phone through the windshield. Instead, I took screenshots. Every message. Every photo they had sent each other. Every plan they had made. Evidence. Because I knew what I had to do next. I dialed Jessica's number. We were not close. She was Sarah's friend, not mine. But we had exchanged numbers while coordinating the bachelor and bachelorette parties. She answered on the 3rd ring, her voice cheerful. "Liam, hi. Everything okay? I am just about to head to the venue. I need to meet you first. Before you go in. It is urgent. About Marcus." Her tone shifted immediately. "What about Marcus? Is he okay?" "He is fine. Physically. But there is something you need to know. Can you meet me in the parking lot at the venue? I will be there in 10 minutes. She agreed, confused but concerned. I drove back, parked in a far corner away from the entrance, and waited. Jessica pulled up 5 minutes later in her blue sedan. She got out wearing jeans and a t-shirt, her bridesmaid dress probably hanging in the back seat. She walked over to my car, and I rolled down the window. "Get in." She hesitated, then climbed into the passenger seat. I handed her my phone without a word. She looked at the screen, saw the message thread, and started scrolling. I watched her face, the confusion, the realization, the heartbreak. Her hands started trembling. She scrolled faster, like she could not stop herself, like she needed to see every terrible word to make it real. When she finally looked up, her eyes were dry, but her face had gone completely pale. "How long have you known?" "About an hour. I caught them this morning. In Sarah's prep room." She nodded slowly, staring out the windshield at nothing. I knew something was off. I just did not want to believe it. Marcus has been distant for months, coming home late, making excuses. I thought maybe he was stressed about the wedding. I told myself I was being paranoid. You were not paranoid. You were right. We sat in silence for a moment. Then Jessica turned to me, and I saw something new in her expression. Not sadness. Anger. Cold, focused anger. What are you going to do? I am going to cancel the wedding. But I want them to face the consequences. Together, in front of everyone. She considered this, then nodded. They made us look like fools. Let us make sure everyone knows the truth. We spent the next 20 minutes planning. Jessica had more to contribute than I expected. She told me about the security camera at their apartment. She had noticed Marcus coming home at 3 in the morning multiple times over the past few months, always claiming it was work drinks or poker nights with the guys. She had checked the footage once out of curiosity. He had not come from the direction of his office. He had come from the opposite side of town, where Sarah lived. Another time, Jessica had checked Marcus's location on Find My Friends during one of his supposed late nights at the office. He had been at Sarah's apartment. She had not confronted him. She had talked herself out of it, convinced herself she was overreacting, that there must be a reasonable explanation. Now she knew there was not. Do you have access to that footage? Yes. I can pull it up right now if you want. She showed me her phone. There it was. Marcus's car, pulling into Sarah's apartment complex at midnight. Then, leaving at 4 in the morning. This had happened at least 6 times that she had recorded, probably more that she had not checked. We were not being paranoid. We were being lied to, systematically, by the 2 people who were supposed to love us most. Jessica and I walked back into the venue together. I found the wedding planner, a cheerful woman named Diane, who had been nothing but helpful for the past 6 months. Diane, small change to the program. I need to make an announcement before the ceremony starts. She beamed at me. Oh, how lovely. A personal touch. Of course, Liam. We can set up the microphone for you at the altar. Perfect. Thank you. She had no idea. Nobody did. Jessica went to help Sarah get ready, playing the role of supportive best friend one last time. Sarah asked her if she had seen me, said I seemed upset earlier. Jessica smiled sweetly and told her not to worry, that everything would be perfect. Sarah believed her. Why would not she? Jessica was her best friend. Just like I was her stable, trustworthy fiancé. 3 o'clock approached. The guests filled the seats. 150 people. Family from both sides, friends from college, colleagues from work. My parents in the front row, my mom already crying happy tears. Sarah's parents across the aisle. Her father, adjusting his tie nervously.